Hey guys, okay, I have decided that I will give you the gift of a better sounding Baggett Corner. More mature and clear and less goofing around. No, there'd be no less goofing around. There'd be there'd be less sanity, not as much sanity. But I'm going to give you sound. See that there? We give you better sound, so it's not cutting out and fading in and fading out, and crappy sound. I don't like it. So I always having to mess with the levels, like a real audio engineer, messing with levels. And anyway, so it's time to get started on this Model T engine, this 1914 Model T engine. By the way, comment if you think the sound is better. And yes, wow, my face is really getting fat. I am the product of preseason eating and eating in the season, and then saying, just one couple more days of eating and drinking, and you just come off the summer camping, which is a lot of eating and drinking. So there's a lot of eating and drinking and vacationing and stuff like that. And finally, I say, oh well, here's the winter, and I like to do things like skiing a lot in the winter. And I'm about 20 pounds heavier than I was last spring. So what do we gotta do? Yeah, we gotta cut that weight out, man. The next time you're gonna see me, you're gonna see me weighing less. I promise you. And if I don't, then I'll just not remind you that I was on a diet and that I'm not trying to lose 20 pounds. So I'm doing it with supplements. I'm doing it with the Ozempics and the Wegovy's, and I'm doing it with that. It worked the last time. It's going to work this time. It's not cheap, and that's not water. So anyway, switch around. All right, righto, Alex, we are here. So I haven't done anything on this, but it is time. The Christmas is over, and it's time to get to work on this. And I've had enough of a break from summer and busyness and renovations in December at stores that I do renovation work at, and time to get cracking at it. It's the cold months of February. So we've already kind of been through this. You've probably seen something on Steven's Sliver Live, of which I'm a part of that group of incredibly serious gentlemen, where we had a little deal on that, which for me is coming up on the 1st, January 1st, which is in a couple of days. But for you, God only knows when you'll see this video. It could be next July for all I know. But yeah, it's kind of, I got to get at it, right? Got to, what are we going to do first? We're going to strip some stuff down so we have good access. So we're going to take the tank off. We're going to take what was the firewall off with its gauges, and which I'll probably have to find a key for that if I'm ever going to use that as the off-on, which I don't. I just use off-on switches, toggles. We can leave some stuff for now. We can leave this generator. We can leave the water pump. We got to disconnect. We got to take this off. We got to take the rad off, which you just saw me juicing those bolts. We got to take the rad off. I don't know if there's anything in it. Guess we're going to find out. Sounds pretty hollow. I doubt it. I doubt that there's anything in there. Juice that. I don't really know what the heck this was, other than I think that since there's no starter and this has a pull, and I don't know that these little latches were anything at all, but I believe, I'm going to say that this probably was a pull going a long way around to here, right, to this wire. And I bet you this wire maybe grab the choke, because that's how you would get the choke. You would grab it from the front and crank, and it would start, and then you could let go of the choke. What do you think? Possibility? Sort of makes some sense. I don't know why the heck it'd be way the heck out here, but that wire doesn't quite reach. But it's plausible. What else? So we're gonna take the tank off, take the firewall, take this, take a bunch of stuff. I should back up a little bit more here for you. Sorry. Yeah, let's get started with that. Pull that. You can pull this off for now. A few things off. And get down to where we can get at. So here's our problem. The motor's stuck. I didn't allude to that before. I'm going to tell you now the motor is stuck. I don't know how badly stuck. I doubt very badly, but it's possible since that exhaust was open. You're going to get water down. Valves, who knows. I could probably get my camera down there. Maybe that's what I'll do for you is I'll take a bit of a video of the inside of the cylinders. Check the valves. Since I can't crank it over, you can't see if the valves move up and down. Or the intake and exhaust valves move up and down. But we can see the general condition and maybe see if there's any rust up on top. Hopefully there's none, right? If you look at the spark plugs, that's usually a good indication of things. Is where is that spark plug going to? I don't know. Let's have a look at these guys. That is just simply an oily mess, no rust. Good news, right? This is oily mess, no rust. This one down here, oily mess, no rust. So that would generally tell you that there's probably no rust up on top, or the cylinder wasn't full of water. Doesn't tell you there was maybe something broken down there. Maybe it's got a broken crank. Who knows, right? Could be anything jamming things up. This, which is the way we're probably going to try to loosen it off, the pin's bust. So what we're going to do is pull the rad and put a new bolt or pin through to the crank from the hand crank and kind of work on that as our way to kind of loosen up this engine. So that's what we got for now. You know, if that fails, then off comes the head, and then off comes the oil pan, and off comes a lot of stuff until we kind of get down to figuring what's the real problem here. So you guys have seen this hanging drill press. Probably saw me fix it, redo it. I need a handle. I got another drill press I picked up on the weekend, and it doesn't have a handle, and I need a handle. I need this rod to begin with. Before I make the handle, I need this rod. So here I am over here, and I've got some material to make the handle. Sorry, the rod that holds the handle. It's this guy right here. So that will work. It's the right thickness, but I gotta cut it. I don't want to have to zip cut it the whole way. So I need to cut it on the bandsaw. So this bandsaw has a little plate here, right? It goes like this. That's sort of the start of a table for a bandsaw. Maybe that's what they intend, is you can use it like that, but this is itself is kind of useless because it doesn't stick out past the blade. You know, see what I mean? So you can rest it and start cutting. You got to kind of feed it in by hand, hope it doesn't jump. And anyway, if I take this as my template, I can make a bigger table. I don't know if it'll work, but what if we just try that? Let's stick that here somewhere. We'll make this table larger, like that. And I guess we'll have to cut a slot for it, but whatever. Make a slot, make this larger, and try it out. What do you think? Give it a try. All right, let's make this handle whatever. that's as easy as that gets. Nice and smooth. Can be painted if we want. Corners rounded. Drill a hole, put a stud, put a handle. Well, you know how it is when you live in the country and you've got neighbors and they're kind of elderly, and the first snowfall hits or it's time to cut the grass. Hey Vince, do you have time to come and have a look at my snowblower for me? So that's where I'm at. I got this snowblower from the neighbor's place, and you know, I don't mind helping out. I like to help people. My neighbors are all good folks, and I know if I needed help, they'd help me. So, you know, why not kick in? Just make the world a better place for people. Anyway, we got this Husqvarna. It's got spark, just tested it. It's got old fuel. I don't think it got ran last year, but you know how the fuel is up here in Canada. It's crap. Fuel is crap here in Canada. So you might get 6 months of a fuel, but otherwise you're pulling that carburetor apart, and that's what I'm gonna have to do, pull that carb apart and see if I can fix it up and get it rolling for her. Anyway, I think I'd rather be quadding today out in the snow. All right, I got it as flushed out as I can get without putting a brand new carb on, but you know, once fuel sits in these passages for a long time, they plug up, but I think I got it all cleared out. All right, before I dump all that old fuel out, which I think is old fuel, we got the carb all clean, we got it mounted up. Let's see if we can start it with the old fuel in it. Fuel on. If it's no good, we'll have to drain the fuel out of the carburetor, but whatever, it's fine. Let's put a choke to it so it'll fire. All right. Snowblowers out of the shop. On to the next thing. Oh, bottle opener, isn't that handy? Why don't you want a bottle opener on a generator? Weird options you get. Anyway, this generator is a great little backup unit for the house here. Let me just turn Art Bell down for a second. He's kind of competing with me. Yeah. So, you know, same thing, fuel. You leave the fuel in them. And I should know better. But I was sure that I put non-ethanol fuel in here, but apparently not, because it won't start. So power on. Yeah, this is my backup generator for when we lose power in the winter. I can run a lot of stuff I can back feed into the house with this generator. So, all right, carburetor's back on. Before I reassemble everything, it's just nice to test it and make sure it actually works. So let's try that. See if it goes. Plugs on. Power's on. Fuel, I'm just leaving the old fuel in it. See if that goes. Choke. Good, okay, well that's that. So I'm gonna put that back together. That's another thing done. And you guys don't need to see that. That's kind of boring stuff, right? Putting stuff back together. Oh yeah, it's that day. Finally home from work. And we've had 2 blizzards this week, so I got stuck in the city for most of the week. And what's that? Yeah, that's me. If I have to get too much gas, I just throw it on the floor. So I'd normally use my big blower, this Big Simplicity, which is awesome. It's a 28-inch. It's actually almost too big, but still waiting on that carb kit to come from the HIPAA store. Anyway, Keith has still not picked up his little snowblower. So I think I'm going to use this one today. Actually, you know, usually I say that a small snowblower is actually way more handy than that big ass thing, which I actually had a bigger one than that before, and that's small compared to the other one I had. This is a 22, so 6-inch less. But a little one like that, like a 22 to 24, is really handy. What do we got out here? Okay, not looking good. Oh, it's cold. Herman hasn't started his yet either. Okay, well, so that's a little bit. Okay, you get the truck started and blow a big path here. Blow half the drive, move everything over. Blow the other half, and we'll just leave the big trailer there, move the little trailer around. It's minus 25 today, so yeah, it's nice and warm. I think I'm gonna close this while I put my clothes on. Shop's nice and heated, but it won't stay long like that at minus 25 and wind blowing in. I think with the wind chill today, it's about minus 30. Don't forget to give the little fur babies in your life a little drink of water. He likes water. He loves it. Anyway, yeah, he'll clean that up, and we'll get on with the snow blowing. Let's get this thing started up. What do you think? Let's start. Maybe, let's choke it. Choke it. There's another bunch of turkeys. Lots of turkeys around here this winter. Big flock right there. How many is there? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 20, 24 turkeys in that bunch. Counted 3 flocks already just in not even 1 square mile. We find more yet. Oh, those are big ones too. Oh, that'd be good eating. 22 could knock one of those down pretty easy. Well, I guess we should just open that drain on that rad and see if anything comes out of there, huh? Sure, we can check that. Shouldn't be hard. And we'll need something long and pokey because you know how it is up in there. There'll be likely something stuck in there like rust if there is, if nothing comes out. I think I already had it open. Yeah, I already had it open. So that means somebody else had it open. Somebody opened it up and drained the rad out and drained the block out, which hopefully that means we do not have a cracked block anywhere, which should be good news, right? It's always good news. And if it was empty, if the rad was empty, then water didn't flood the cylinders. But I think you probably saw from that video that there's a bit of rust in those cylinders, but it could be just condensation or it could have been just water that got in through the exhaust. See what you guys know on that. That got in through the exhaust and into the cylinder. So the water obviously doesn't have to come from the rad. It can come from external elements like a stupid exhaust pipe that's sticking up in the air with no cap on it, or I don't know. It's kind of a dumb idea all around, I think. Can we get these guys off? It's such a small. Yep, we can get that one off. I've been on the road so long it seems that all I can taste is a gasoline. Been on this road long mile after mile. There is a heater element in there. You guys can't see it. Hold on, let me unplug this. You see in there? There's an element in there. What do you think? What's the chance that element is still good? Hold on, let's go on a side trip. Come with me on a side trip. And let's have a peek at here. Let's turn the light on. Here's your element connection, right? One in, coming out. We would even be able to calculate how many watts that is by the resistance. And our voltage would be 6 volt. So we do 6 volt DC. And we would know the resistance. So anyway, we're just going to see if this element's any good to begin with. So let's do audible. Okay. Is there a tag on this anywhere? Actually, there is. Maybe be able to read that. Anyhow, there's some. Hold on. Maybe. It was just a ground connection there. Yep. 30 ohms of resistance. Cool. This is a centrifugal throwout, which was the throttle control pushed. There. It pushes that arm. Can you guys see how that works? See all that? Hopefully you do. Holy, look at the wear. Can you guys see? That's the wear. That's supposed to be round. Holy crap. All right, I found a bolt, but I need this to be a reasonably smooth operation where I put this on here and it doesn't bind. And that is going to bend that bolt. What if we kind of ease it along with a rubber hammer? Yeah, you can see what was going on there. We just bust that bolt off in there. All right, we got another bolt in there, screw actually. We've got the persuader here this time. Bigger hammer, a bigger hammer. Oh, what did we just see there? Guys see that? We got movement. Look at that. Hey! Success. Okay, I think what we got to do now that we can see that it does move is we need to dump a fair amount of oil down those cylinders just so we can get, just to make sure that things are going to keep moving. They're not going to pile up in there on us with rust, which we didn't see rust. We just saw some, well, we saw rust, but not flakes and flakes of it. So all right, good enough. Success tonight. We got the engine freed up. All right, I know people want to see in there. Who knows what's in there? 3 of these are loose. 3 of these are a massive struggle. So what I got is one of these guys. It's actually an impact driver. I've got a couple of them, and I haven't found many uses for them actually. But I broke one. I'm trying to be really careful. I don't want to smash this hogshead. I do want to get this loose without having to cut it out and drill it out. We're getting movement. There we go. You guys see that? There we go. That was the toughest one, actually. Turn that out with the driver itself. No, there we go. Yeah. Okay. Okay, we're pretty well home for you now. That's good. All right. That was good.
Fried chicken, gasoline, and the story of my life. Down the road, that's where you'll find me. Down the road, down the road, down the road, down the road. That's where you'll find me. Down the road.
Home for another week. Hey! Look at the size of this guy. Holy cow. He's got to be like 1.5 feet tall. Hey! All right, I'm back. 5 days later, I'm back. And I did say I was going to pull this apart. I was going to open this up 5 days later. And so let's get it opened up and see what's in here. Because I'm curious myself. I'm going to need a screwdriver. As we got 3 bands. I want to see if the bands are, well, you can see they got plugs, wood plugs in them. And I wanted to see if they actually have bands in them. I doubt they have bands. A friend of mine, Rob, says he doubts very much that they have bands in them. They probably were yanked out, and I would probably tend to agree with him. First look, what do we have? Whew, boy. We got no bands, actually. So you have no bands in here. Oil is black, but it actually is clean black. It's not mixed with water. So that's kind of good news. I do not see any cracks. Actually, it's just rust. That can get cleaned up. Not pitted. Just some surface rust on there. But I don't see anything cracked. So anyway, that's kind of interesting. It's all there. No mag, no coils. So interesting. That's what we got in there. No bands. Nothing. We got basically neutral.